So maybe you can talk about the training, like fueling yourself during training as well. Is there, and also as part of that, is it possible to train mostly fasted?
Mhm.
Because as a side comment, let me just say, I like, again, not anywhere, not even like 1/10 of your level of performance, but I try to push myself, and I just feel much better when I'm fasted. So water and maybe some salt for longer runs for anything over like 10, 15 miles, but no food.
Yeah, I mean, I like to train on an empty stomach. I do most of my biggest training session usually in the morning, and it usually what'll determine whether I eat something or not before that is like how much do I need to eat that day in order to stay on top of it to be able to train again the next day.
Gotcha.
So I'll usually do something similar to what I would do before a race if I need to kind of stay on top of calories for the day. So I'm not like at noon with like no calorie intake and like 5,000 calories to try to consume before I go to bed that night and get out and do the same thing the next day. But yeah, I think if I were doing what you're doing, like if that were my lifestyle, I think I would do almost all my runs fasted. I don't see why I would be eating a lot before it because it's like I'm just introducing something that could, especially if you're noticing. Like, here's what I'd say: if I was doing that and I was like, "Wow, this run sucks," and then I introduced something beforehand, and now my run was feeling great and my progress was getting better, that's when I would maybe consider having something before. But if you're running both of those like self experiments, you're noticing, yeah, if I eat something before I go out in this workout, the workout's less enjoyable. I'm not noticing any increased improvements on it. Again, it's a little messy, like we said before. It's hard to really, you can't go back and try it a different way on that specific day. But I think most people, if they're just like, if they go at it with like no bias in the sense that they're like trying to make one work versus the other, you can get at least a good enough look at it. And if absolute peak performance in one activity, one very specific activity, isn't your goal, then it's like, do you really care if one has a 2% performance increase
Yeah.
that you won't even probably notice because there's other variables that will clearly overpower that 2% one way or the other?
And there's some benefit in terms of freedom and letting go of like having to think about some of these variables. I
Mhm.
see sort of fasting as, even if it's like a hit on the performance, it's worth it to just not think about it. There's some really nice aspect to just putting on shoes, not caring like what shorts you wear or like what your outfit is, like not
Yeah.
being optimal
Hmm.
in every way and just not caring and just enjoying the purity of just running
Yeah.
no matter what. Just
There,
enjoying the natural aspect of
yeah.
it.
There's a side to me that sometimes just like craves a lifestyle where it's like I have like such a small house and only what I need and just like a handful of food products that I know I enjoy and work well for me, and I don't even have the distraction of the other stuff. There's
Yeah.
like a there's almost like a weight that comes off your shoulders when you think,
Yeah.
even just thinking about it, like it's so simple.
So the reason I'm mostly a minimalist like that, the reason I have stuff is I realize like you probably have to fit into society, and if you want to have
Yeah.
other people in your life, you should probably get used to having stuff,
Yeah.
because most people like stuff.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's that side of it too. And there's there's a whole, you don't want to ostracize yourself too much. And I think you can kind of like, you can manipulate that a little bit where there's things that are like not specific to that's going to negatively impact the people around you or your experiences with them. So there's a balance, like everything, I guess.